We're off with an explosive start today, with Tom playing a command tower and casting both Soul Ring and Borrow's Signet. Next is Extra with a Forest, followed by Exploration, a Hinterland Harbor, and a Delighted Halfling, trying to catch up to Tom. Meanwhile, Sam plays a Rejuvenating Springs, and John plays a Plains, wondering when the food is going to be delivered. Tom continues to accelerate, playing a tapped Sacred Foundry, followed by another rock, in Azorius Signet, and his commander, Zinnia, Valley's Voice, to round out the turn. Extra tries to keep up, casting Cultivate to find a tapped mountain and a forest, which he then plays alongside a Burgeoning and a pass to Sam. Sam plays a forest and casts a Humble Pond Prophet, drawing a card as it enters. John plays a Plains, then casts Talisman of Progress before passing and going back to thinking about his burger. Tom plays a Glacial Fortress and uses his Mountain of Mana to cast Odra, Deepest Foundation. He then passes. Extra ramps once again, this time casting Kadama's Reach, again for a Mountain plus Forest, which he plays alongside a Rampant Growth, getting a tapped island. Having ramped enough for now, he passes. Sam plays an island and casts a Reclamation Save, destroying Tom's Soul Ring, trying to take him down a peg, before passing to John. John plays another Plains, then casts Warden of Elos Isle, paying 1 for blue, then hands a turn over to Tom and begins to wonder if he ordered enough fries. Tom first offsprings Ocelot Pride, making 3 copies thanks to Odra. He then attacks Extra with all his creatures and passes. Finally set up on mana, Extra casts Inti, Seneschal of the Sun, followed by his commander, Flubs the Fool. Next he plays a tapped Frontier Bivouac, triggering Flubs to discard, and Inti to exile his top card. He casts the Exiled Aerith, Tormented Prophet, triggering Flubs to draw, followed by a Vine Glimmer Snarl, triggering Flubs to exile his top 2 thanks to Aerith. Finally, he plays a Talon Gates of Madara from exile, triggering Flubs a final time to exile his top 2. After that, he passes to Sam. Sam plays a forest, then casts his own commander, Clement the Worrywort, triggering his effect to return Prophet. In response, Sam uses Prophet to add a green, which he uses to recast said Prophet, drawing a card once more. Meanwhile, John plays an Errant Thingiata, paying 1 life, attacks Tom with his Warden, and goes back to staring at the delivery time. Tom first attacks Extra with Zinnia, Odra, and an Ocelot token, which is blocked by Inti. In his second main, he pays 3 for an untapped Witch Blessed Meadow, then casts Siege Gang Commander, making 9 goblins. This is not the end, however, as in the end step, the remaining 3 Ocelots trigger, ascending, and each making 3 cats, and triplicating all the tokens that have entered this turn. TLDR, he got a ton of tokens. The turn then goes to Extra. Being the only one who can stop Tom, Extra starts his turn, but is immediately interrupted by Tom and his path to exile on Aerith, replacing it with a tapped forest. Extra then begins his journey, casting Strike It Rich, triggering Flubs to draw, plays a Rockfile Veil, triggers Flubs, casts Library of Lang, triggers Flubs, casts Wayward Swordtooth, triggers Flubs, flashback Strike It Rich, triggering Flubs to discard, and exile a card with Inti. He continues by playing a Dreamroot Cascade from exile, triggering Flubs, playing a Thundering Falls, surveying to the graveyard, and drawing a card with Flubs, followed by Tireless Provisioner, bestowed Spring Hardened Nantuko on Provisioner, Obsessive Search, And finally, Rejuvenating Springs, triggering Provisioner to make a treasure, and Tuco to make a copy, Flubs to discard, and Inti to exile his top card. Having failed in finding a path to victory, he disappointedly passes to Sam. Sam plays a forest, and continues to play the game, casting an Acidic Slime, taking down Tom's command tower, triggering Clement to return Reclamation Sage. He then casts Shrieking Drake to return his slime, before passing the turn to John, who flashes in an Aven Mind Sensor on end step. John first casts his commander, Kastral, the Windcrested, paying 1 life, then sends his Warden at Sam, Mind Sensor at Tom, and Errant at Extra, allowing his commander to trigger 3 times, putting 2 birds into play, and giving all of his birds a counter. He then hears the doorbell ring, running straight to the door, giving the turn to Tom, who takes his turn and sends his token army at the rest of the table, taking them out. With the game over, everyone can now enjoy the delicious food.